we enter the home stretch of the Big 12 schedule on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon here in Morgantown. West Virginia takes the field unbeaten here at home this season, ready to take on Gary Patterson's Horned Frogs. And we hope your college football Saturday is off to a great start with Coach Mark Helfrich. I'm Joe Davis. TCU started this season 1-3. They've won back-to-back games, though, and they've done it looking more like you expect Gary Patterson's teams to look, playing really good defense.
No doubt about it, and the key has to continue today, and that's been pressure. 10 sacks in these last two games. Coach Patterson elated about that, and they have to keep that up today against West Virginia's Jarret Doege, because if there's any chink in this kind of Horned Frog armor, it's the corners. They've had some injuries back there, some inexperienced guys playing, and Jarret Doege is a capable passer.
Other side for West Virginia, second season under Neil Brown. They went 5-7 in his first year. Came into the year saying he wanted to be the most improved team in the country. By a lot of measures, they've improved a bunch, especially on defense. They're really good this year.
This defense is fast, it's physical, great scheme. We'll get into that later, but kind of an under-the-radar great defense. You expect it from TCU, but these guys, it starts up front with the Stills brothers, but fast and physical linebacker play makes a ton of plays.
Celebrating Military Appreciation Day here in this Veterans Day week. There is Neil Brown, second season as the head coach after 4 really good years at Troy. Went 4-8 in his first year at Troy, then 3 consecutive 10-win seasons. And trying to have a similar turnaround here at West Virginia after the 5-7 debut year. Only Nick Saban and Mac Brown have more wins among active coaches than Gary Patterson, who's in his 21st season as the head coach. His win last week against Texas Tech, his 200th at TCU at 25 as an assistant. That was number 175 as the head coach. Well, his low 30s this morning. Coach Helfrich, you had like 3 coats on.
It is heating up.
Yeah, it's up to 48. Perfect football weather. No wind at all.
Special teams all day long, Joe. Look for something different. Something as a difference maker. 2 great defenses, some struggling offenses. Something's got to be.
West Virginia won the toss, deferred to the second half. Short kickoff, fair catch taken, and TCU to start at the 25-yard line with their sophomore quarterback Max Duggan leading the way out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. Took over as a starter week 3 of his freshman season. Only completed 53% last year, but that completion percentage way up to 65% this season. Where he's really stood out has been as a runner, though. He's TCU's leading rusher and coming off his best game in the ground. A career-high 154 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win against Texas Tech. They needed every bit of that, a 34-18 win where they had 270 rushing yards and only 73 passing yards. It's Amari DiMercado running in the first play of the game into the arms of X-Relow. Makes the start for an injured Josh Chandler-Samido. It's TCU offense, their 3rd in rushing offense in the conference, their 9th in passing offense.
X-Relow starting the game for, as you said, an injured Chandler-Samido. Watch this second level of this defense. Tyke Smith, 23, Tony Fields, number 1, and X-Relow, number 6, make a ton of plays as the Stills brothers eat up blocks.
The top defenses in the Big 12 this season. First pass play of the day for TCU. On the move, Duggan throws incomplete, looking for Quentin Johnston. And not only is TCU's offense trying to gain some traction, they're trying to do it behind a depleted offensive line that will be without another starter today as Austin Myers is out, so Kelton Hollins moves up the right guard. They are down 3 starters on that offensive line, and as talented as these skill guys are, you're going to have time to get those skill guys the ball.
Tough challenge for this front today. We've noted the Stills brothers and everything they bring from a pressure standpoint. That last play is something that we'll see if that continues, trying to get Duggan on the move, on the perimeter, away from the fray.
3rd and 9 on TCU's opening drive. Duggan steps up, lets it go. There's Prowells for a TCU first down. Really talented tight end for the Horned Frogs that they want to get more involved.
And we just talked about it. Great protection. It was a 2-deep zone. Great job by Dougie keeping his eyes up and throwing a striking, confident throw to Prowells.
After the 3rd down pickup, Duggan looks to throw again. Trying to run away from Jeffrey Cooler. He's got a gain of 5.
Max Duggan.
Spooler chased him out. You know, this defense for West Virginia we're talking about, it's been a huge turnaround. They were near the bottom of the Big 12 in many categories last season. One of the nation's best this year. The front with the Stills brothers and Jeffrey Pooler. They brought back all 3 of those guys, and so no surprise they've been good. Tony Fields, a transfer from Arizona, the Big 12's leading tackler. On the back end, they've been the top pass defense in the conference. Here comes Darlow. Leading rusher for the Horned Frogs as far as running backs go. It's been running backs by committee, and he's taken the bulk lately.
It's a great second down run, converting a first down here for TCU. Great confident second throw there for Duggan after the tough overthrow on the boot pass. That's a big confidence builder for him to convert that first third down against this defense.
First carry of the day for the true freshman Kendry Miller goes nowhere.
Kendry Miller, this TCU, you know, the depth at the running back is exceptional here, and they're very excited about Kendry Miller, the unheralded freshman of that freshman crew, but 6'2", 206, and a dynamic guy. That full house backfield's kind of probably a product of Jerry Kill, who we'll get into later. Former Minnesota coach, Northern Illinois coach, has adapted part of his scheme to this offense.
They got really 3 offensive coordinators at this point: Kill, Meacham, and Cuffey. There's Duggan rolling to his right, gets rid of it quickly. It's incomplete. There's Tyke Smith again, jarring it out of the hands of Zach Evans and making it 3rd and 9.
Great job by Pooler redirecting on Duggan, forcing the quick throw. And Evans, just another talented freshman out of back, can't quite complete the deal. There's another naked bootleg there trying to get Duggan on the perimeter.
Converted 1 third down on this drive. Here's 3rd and 9.
Kind of in no man's land here, possible 4-down territory, possible run, setting up a manageable 4th down.
Mercado in there running back. West Virginia brings 4. It's picked up. Duggan with time. A loft one into one-on-one. But incomplete. Fortune tight coverage as he shot it up there from Mikel Barkley, and it's 4th and 9.
Great coverage by Fortune. You called it. He just was in his hip pocket, glued his left hip to the receiver's right hip. Couldn't coach that any better. Pressed it to the sideline. No chance.
This is a pass defense for West Virginia that's held the opponent to under 200 yards passing 8 of the last 9 games. Sam Ehlinger last week, it was a Texas win, but Ehlinger was just 15 of 31. There's the punt. Perfectly down to the 1-yard line. Jordy Sandy. West Virginia back to its own 1-yard line, where they'll begin their first drive of the game with their quarterback Jarrett Dagey. Hasn't thrown an interception the last 3 games. Leddie Brown with the ball on the first touch of the day, which is noteworthy for West Virginia. Brown was banged up in the loss at Texas, didn't practice much this week. They were hopeful they would have him, and they're going to kind of see what they get as this game goes on.
Yeah, you're fired up if you're a West Virginia fan, especially opening your first possession on the -1.
Yeah, that's the kind of guy you like to have in that situation. Physical runner, come downhill with him again. And Garrett Waddle, leading tackler for TCU, has his first today. And so quickly 3rd down for the Mountaineers.
West Virginia are starting out with a new wrinkle, kind of a power set. Banging against the interior of this TCU defense.
That's something they couldn't really do when they lost Leddie Brown against Texas last week. They bring in Alex Sinfield, who is a good runner, but more of an outside runner. First 2 plays today to the teeth of the defense. First throw for Dagey. The wide side of the field, he's got Sean Ryan, the Temple transfer, for a first down. One of the many receivers who started to turn it on lately, lost it at the end of the play, but he was marked down. Trayvon Merritt with the tackle.
Extremely talented receiver group, deep talents. We'll see this ball. It looked like he was down. It didn't matter. West Virginia recovered it anyway. No, that
boy, he's because he's on top of the defender.
He's on top of the defender.
You're right. So recovered by Ford Wheaton.
Ford Wheaton should get a couple more yards there, but again, that's a great confident first 3rd down conversion
from a guy who's playing with a lot of confidence. Jarrett Dagey with 4 consecutive 300-yard games. He'll loft this one. Winston Wright Incomplete, underthrown with the Darius Washington coming back in coverage.
Pass intended.
This offense for West Virginia, like the defense, has made huge improvements from last year when they were dead last in the conference. Especially bad running the football last year. Out of 130 teams, there were 128th, but talking about Leddie Brown, what a season he's having. Already more yards than he had last year. Second down, 15, first West Virginia drive of the day. Daggy looking wide side, throwing for Fort Wheaton. Makes a diving catch for a gain of 9. Merrigan coverage. It'll be third down against this TCU defense. It's always a strength under Gary Patterson. Although middle of the pack in most categories this season, they've been much better lately. You touched on it. The pressure they've been getting the last 2 games, outstanding.
O'Shawn Mathis, just take a look at 11, between 32 Mathis, 11 Coleman, and a bunch of other guys based on how it's schemed up from a Gary Patterson twist, games, pressures. Unbelievably talented front.
Trying to cover up some deficiencies in the secondary right now because of injuries. On third down, that's another confident throw and a first down to Simmons to the 40. Merrick with a tackle.
They've run this combination several times. Watch a vertical, and then an out coming from the number 3 receiver. As you count inside in 1, 2, 3. They've run that similar scheme 3 times now. That seems to be a play du jour against this TCU coverage.
All kinds of pre-snap movement. Brown comes into the backfield. First down from the 40. It is Leddie Brown. Stopped by D. Winters. You're talking about TCU's secondary. You know, coming into the year, corner was already going to be a question because of a couple guys they had to replace leaving for the NFL. But then Noah Daniels goes down with an injury. Keon Stewart goes down with an injury. They've got C.J. Caesar starting. And Caesar had been exclusively special teams player over his first 2 seasons before this, and they're having to move safeties to corner just to give him some kind of depth there.
Yeah, Gary Patterson, when you talk to him, he's still confident. 16, C.J. Caesar was a guy that got beat for 2 touchdowns last week. And then Hodges Tomlinson, the talented sophomore, extremely athletic. Obviously, that name very familiar to TCU fans.
Here's that jet sweep play that they broke it loose on with a penalty the first time. That works again. It's a first down to Simmons.
That was a great finish on the tackle because they got it. They got the numbers on the perimeter. You can see the 2 tight ends arcing. If Banks can just finish a little bit better there, TJ Banks, a tight end, they're in business and there's nobody left.
Washington made the tackle. Taking the offense on the move here on the first drive into TCU territory. We've seen all kinds of window dressing before the play, all this pre-snap movement. From the 43 on first and 10 play action. Daggy gets rid of it just in time. On the corner pattern, Winston Wright makes the catch. Leading receiver for the Mountaineers this season gets 23.
Great route, great protection. We got a post and a corner combination, a classic kind of day 1 install route combination, and a great job hanging on to it by Winston Wright.
So first down to the 20 on a drive that started back at West Virginia's 1. Play action. Into the flats. Let's hit it again. He stepped out of bounds, bumped out of bounds by C.J. Caesar. Here they go, coach, into the red zone, which was the primary issue in that loss. They went 1 for 5 in terms of scoring touchdowns once moving inside the 20.
And you said it, drops. You had the, if you're wearing the burnt orange, it was a clean play. If you're wearing the blue and gold, it was pass interference on the last play, but got to be more efficient down here.
Daggy 5 of 6, they get 6 of 7 as Ryan gets his second catch. Nice job by Waddle to stick with him and make it 3rd and short.
Waldo's a fun player to watch too, just so diverse, creates a lot of looks from this defense, does a great, you saw him communicating on that last play. And a great job tracking down Ryan, force him out of bounds, send up a 3rd and 2.
West Virginia was just 6 of 16 on 3rd down last week, and that was another spot where they really missed Leddie Brown. His ability in situations like this, 3rd and short. They'll throw it. Brown swings out of the backfield and he's wide open. First and goal for West Virginia. Washington pushes him out. They convert again, and on a drive that started back at the 1, first and goal.
We talked to Gary Patterson yesterday, asked him, Coach, last year, Leddie Brown, he goes, yeah, we got to do a better job with him. The first time they're in the red zone, they need to play 3rd and 2. Swing Leddie Brown out of the backfield, great catch. Clearly steps out of bounds there at about the 1.5. Athletic, versatile guy, Leddie Brown.
Handed to him here. He gets tripped up by Adarius Washington, who's been everywhere so far for TCU, and it's 2nd and goal.
And along with those red zone ills from last week, it'll be interesting here. Neil Brown, kind of an air raid background if you don't know much about him. Played at Kentucky, obviously coached at Troy, coached at Texas Tech for a long time. He wants to send a message with his team, I think, and pound the ball in, is what it felt like in talking to him this week.
He ran for a season-low 43 yards against Texas last week. Tried to go over the top, hardly got anything, and it's 3rd and goal. So trying to send a message, but TCU's front standing tall.
Yeah, a lot of pounds in between those tackles on that last play.
There's some really good defensive line that Texas has that West Virginia was really impressed with, but TCU not slouches up front either.
Not at all. Not at all.
And on 3rd and goal, they're 3 for 3 on 3rd down on this drive.
You see Cooper in there right now for TCU, submarine it in.
It is Diggy to sneak it in for the touchdown for West Virginia. A 99-yard touchdown drive to start the day.
This great job by Daggy and everybody. Watch the submarine tech here by the defense technique. They go below the waist of the offensive lineman. Daggy goes over the top, and a great surge. And if you're Neil Brown, you couldn't have drawn that up any better. Start it on the 1 and run it in the end zone.
Yeah, when it didn't work, handing it off, trying to jump in, they said, okay, let's sneak it and have our tight end literally tackle our quarterback from behind in the end zone. You coaches, genius, I tell you.
That's Matt Liner, Reggie and Matt Liner.
Yeah. The extra point is good from Casey Legg. Winston Wright, nice reception to help set it up. West Virginia does something they had a hard time doing last week. Capitalize when they move in the red zone. Longest touchdown drive of the season, both in terms of plays and yards. 7.5 minutes. They go 99 yards.
That's impressive against anybody, but especially against a run-stopping first defense of Coach Patterson.
Able to finish it off with the 3rd and goal quarterback sneak from Daggy. TCU set to get the ball again. A short kick taken to the 13 by Sylvian Williams. Oh, look out, reaching for that ball as a West Virginia coverage team. Williams hangs on to it, and the Horned Frogs will start at the 28-yard line. Second. Trying to get Duggan with another quick throw, and he sails Quentin Johnston. Got hit as he let it go.
Great pressure inside, and Duggan just sails it over Johnson. That's hard to do. Can't even set his feet, and Dante Stills is pulling up on him.
Duggan has taken a bunch of hits this season, more than 3 sacks per game allowed by this offensive line. Down 3 starters from what they planned to begin the year. Duggan to run it here, coming off his best rushing performance as a Horned Frog. It's 4 to be 3rd and 6. Alonzo Adai bearing down on him. He had 154 yards in that win against Texas Tech. 3 touchdowns. He had an easy one from 3, but then he broke off a 48-yarder and an 81-yard touchdown.
Really showing his speed, almost 130 yards on 2 plays. You can see him trying to get Quentin Johnson involved there with the fake jet sweep. They gave him the ball in the last couple of weeks, so trying to counterplay off that.
Converted a 3rd down on that first drive to Pro Wells. In trouble. He steps away from Tucker. He throws incomplete. A dive with the coverage on Johnston, and it's 4th down.
This great coverage downfield. He stepped up and kept his eyes up, but you'll see Adai 4 be the guy ended up making this play from right here. Duggan downfield, looks to his right, primary guy covered, got a little mesh route, steps up, eyes up, and Adai maybe a little left hand.
West Virginia fans think they got one coming to them.
I was going to say they deserve it after last week. Watch the long snapper here. We got a first-time long snapper.
After him and just drilled the punter, Sandy. No question about that. Flags are flying everywhere. As the return is brought to the 24. Yeah, you mentioned Will Houston, first-time long snapper. I don't know what all the yapping is about. You're going to get in trouble when you get to the sideline. Question is, will it be roughing or running into the kicker?
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Defense, number 24, contact to the kicker's plant leg. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Penalties have been a problem for both these teams so far this season, and a big one there that extends this drive.
You just hate that. Obviously, Neil Brown feeling good about that drive, wants to come after him. They almost get there, but if you almost get there and hit the plant leg.
So instead of West Virginia ball, TCU has a first down at the 44. Another quick throw. Here's Pro Wells. How often you do a quick throw to a guy who's 6'4", 250, but he is pretty darn athletic, moves really well for a guy that size.
This guy has a bright future. He's only a junior yet. Shoulder issues, had a hamstring issue, but a big athletic guy with tremendous range. Quentin Johnston there doing a great job on the perimeter blocking for his tight end partner.
Wells goes out, second down and 8. Duggan scans the field, finds an opening for Tay Barber. His first catch of the day goes inside the 30. Leading receiver on the season for the Horned Frogs has his first catch, goes for 23 yards.
Good scheme here. You see off the play fake, Duggan steps up a little, almost a little angle route here, a little line route by Tay Barber.
Quickly backing the ball off play action. Johnston with a strike from Duggan, first down to the 15. Getting a step on Drayshawn Miller. Boy, Duggan throwing it confidently so far.
Yes, these last 3 throws have been impressive. And getting Johnston going, getting the ball in his hands, and making a play. Good to see.
TCU continues to work quickly. He had a quick throw set up, but it was taken away by Fields. Scrambled back to close to the line of scrimmage. Fortune and Fields there on the tackle. Second down. Fields, one of the biggest reasons for West Virginia's turnaround defensively. Leading tackler in the conference so far this season, bringing this first quarter to a close. 7-0 West Virginia. They're up 99 yards on their first drive of the day, but TCU on the move looking to answer. On to the second in Morgantown here on Big Noon Saturday. First quarter stats. Long drives, the story of this first quarter. TCU on 11 plays on its first drive had to punt. West Virginia 15 plays and scored a touchdown. And thanks to a roughing the punter penalty, TCU still moving here. Here's the 7th play. Second down and 12 from the West Virginia 16. Duggan will check it down. Barber's second catch of the drive goes for 3, and it's 3rd and 9. Tony Fields with another tackle.
Duggan's doing a nice job operating with his eyes up under a little bit of pressure. Unbalanced.
He's given time, but the coverage downfield is good, so he slides. And they'll bring out the field goal team on 4th down.
TCU, something they like to do in those tempo situations, get an unbalance, put all your wideouts on one side, along with your eligible, in this case, ineligible tight end. Try to run a pump and go on 3rd and 9. Not normally the time a defense is going to fall for that, and they don't.
There's another opportunity for the first-time long snapper, Will Houston. Antonio Ortiz did not make the trip, undisclosed reasons. And so Houston, the senior, getting his first chance. Perfect snap, hold is down, kick is through. And TCU's on the board. Taking advantage of a special teams penalty on West Virginia. The roughing the punter extends the drive. Horned Frogs get their first points, 7-3. 7-3 game after the Griffin Cow field goal. Back at Morgantown as we enter the final stretch of the Big 12 season. Final 3 games for these two teams. And a series tied 4-4 since they joined the Big 12 together in 2012. Although West Virginia's won 3 of the last 4. Game last season down in Fort Worth, a game that was really defined by mistakes. Neither team cracked 300 yards of offense. There were 5 interceptions in that game. The offense is kind of having their way so far, moving the ball with ease, at least through the middle part of the field. First few possessions. 7 of 8 on the first possession. Coming off of what the coaching staff says is probably his best week of practice in his couple years at West Virginia. Throw it on first down here. Twist up front, picked up. So time to scan the field, then floated over the head of Sam James, who's covered by Travius Hodges-Tomlinson.
Yeah, great protection right there by the West Virginia offensive line. Just nothing downfield. They had everything gloved. You see those late movements by West Virginia. What they're trying to do is Gary Patterson loves to see the defense, or see the offense, see the formation, see the alignment. He's up the top of your screen right here, taking a look, signaling to the defense. There he is right there. And then this late move, he'll try to counterpunch that, but a lot of times defensive coaches, they're scared to do that late.
Leddie Brown, room off the left side. He breaks into the clear. Leddie Brown across midfield. Longest play of the day for the Mountaineers as Leddie Brown romps for 30.
Great scheme right here. You'll see the pullers come here and Leddie Brown bounce it there to the boundary. What they're trying to do is attack the perimeter there, and that same side footwork, the quarterback and the running back are on the same side of the point of attack of a run. That allows it, or that causes that defense to suck in, and Leddie does a great job of bouncing.
Ran for a season low 47 yards, battling that injury in Texas last week. He's only got 41 today. West Virginia's got a first down at the TCU 45. Brown takes the fake this time. Diggy has all day and then dumps it off. Sam James straight ahead across the 30, first down. Luke Bradford with the tackle after a gain of 17.
They'll come back to this look. They'll talk to him. My man Wright, Winston Wright, was wide open right here. Did a great job on his little stick post move and is uncovered. Good job of checking it down if you don't see it, but they'll come back to that.
Check down for 17. James cutting it up quickly. Fake the screen. Floating one. They've got Simmons behind the defense. He hangs on for the West Virginia touchdown. They pumped short, drew the eyes of the defense, and found Simmons for the score from 26.
Running the football. Watch here the double move, and then he's gone. Pump fake. This is the same thing that TCU just ran on 3rd and 9. Much better as a 1st and 2nd down call. I thought Daggy held on to it too long and gave it too much air, but great finish by Simmons.
5th-year senior out of Birmingham, Alabama. The former Crimson Tide receiver transferred up here a few years ago. He's got his first touchdown of the year. West Virginia with touchdowns on each of its first 2 drives. Extra point from Casey Ladd. Diggy finds Simmons, pumped it short, threw it long. Simmons goes up to get it, and it's 14-3 Mountaineers. West Virginia's got it clicking offensively so far. Touchdowns on both drives. Diggy finds Simmons from 26 yards.
Yeah, this great scheme built off an RPO that they run a ton. This aggressive TCU defense triggers just over the top of Hodges Tomlinson. Darius Washington was on the scene as well. Again, that guy was wide open for a long time.
Yeah, you're cringing a little bit if you're the coach watching that, aren't you? Holding your breath. Kickoff into the end zone and a touchback. Here's a trick play to begin this drive with an end around to Quentin Johnston. And how about Nick Troy Fortune waiting home to drop him at the line of scrimmage?
Great vision. You said it. Nick Troy Fortune staying home, fighting through the block, trying to get a trick play. You'll see Nick Troy Fortune on your left side here, number 11. Fight through the block of the big guy.
TCU scored a touchdown on a bit of a similar scheme last week, bringing Johnston in the end around. Nothing doing here. 2nd and 10. First carry for Zach Evans is shut down.
You can see they're trying to get Quentin Johnston involved. So athletic. But then that sets you up for a 2nd and long. And now a 3rd and long.
And Akeem Messidor, who's joined that veteran defensive line as a true freshman, and he's making his case for freshman of the year in the conference, leading the team with 4 sacks this year, and he's got a tackle for loss there.
Empty. West Virginia rushed 4 last time. We'll see if they do it again.
That's what they're showing. And that's what they bring. They give Duggan time. Again, coverage downfield is tight. Nowhere to go with the ball, and it's 4th down as Fields got to him.
Just a coverage sack again. Nothing open downfield. Just a little working man rush here. Get a little bit of a TE on one side. Duggan steps up. Again, there's just nothing downfield. Fields on the scene. Great eyes on the quarterback. He knows he's a run threat. Gets him on the ground.
Sandy to punt it. St. Field with a fair catch at the 36.
Fair catch called for.
That's where the West Virginia offense will have the ball. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns so far for Jared Dagey and the Mountaineers. They've got it again when you come back. There's only one Big 12 team that is still unbeaten at home this season, and it's West Virginia. 0-3 on the road after the loss at Texas last week, but 4-0. And they've been a completely different team here in Morgantown.
How do you not play well in Morgantown?
I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I mean, it's our first trip here. We've heard stories about how great this place is, and even with just 15,000 people here, still a wonderful game day atmosphere. Brown gets run down from behind by D. Winters. And some scuffling after the play. Oh, my goodness, that's got to draw a penalty, doesn't it? C.J. Caesar just from behind took Sean Ryan down, but no flags.
Yeah, Sean Ryan working his tail off in the backside of the run. This is what the personal foul was earlier, the unsportsmanlike conduct. He was just finishing until he heard the whistle.
I think he needs to get his hearing checked there because the whistle happened a long time ago. See, this is all fine, right? Okay. All right, good. Just wait for it, though. This part, wait for it. Wait for it. Isn't that a little excessive?
That was the latest action, and that's the one he usually gets called. And that's what Neil Brown's talking to him now. Hey, man, you call that on us.
Well, I guess both guys guilty of being a little excessive there. So, no flags. 2:43 to go. Crowd continues to not like the lack of a call there.
Great move here by Gary Patterson. I was looking for these as an offensive guy. I would have attacked C.J. Caesar with a double move or something right there. He's out of the game right now. So 2 new corners, or 1 new corner in addition to Hodges Tomlinson.
On 2nd and 9, and they look in that direction. Winston right, close to a first down. Spot him a little bit short. Tackle made by Josh Foster. It'll be 3rd and a long 1.
Again, good ball placement. That was better timing on the RPO. Kind of natural for Jared Dagey. The run pass option. He's basically riding and deciding where to go with the ball as he does that. Good spot, set up 3rd and 1. Do they pound the ball again here to send a message or take a shot?
Whatever they've done on 3rd down has worked today. Converted on all but 1 3rd down opportunity. They will pound away. And Brown is not going to get it. Garrett Wallow was there first, and then Dylan Horton finished him off.
And great job by Wallow fighting over the top. Look at all that space. Garrett Wallow fills it up. Great job wrapping up Leddie Brown.
So 4th down, less than a yard. And
there, Leddie Brown, one-on-one in a big old space. I'm putting my chips in on Leddie Brown.
They do decide to punt it. Tyler Sumter sends it over to fair catch at the 17-yard line. 1:20 and 3 timeouts for the Horned Frogs. You got to look to try and get something, especially considering West Virginia has the ball coming out of the break.
Exactly, and that's why Neil Brown does that right there. Hey, don't give him any extra momentum. Don't give him any extra possession. Let's kick it down here. Trust our defense. They might use their timeout if TCU allows it and get a cheap one, but they're working obviously work toward the second half.
First and 17. It's a high throw for passing DiMercato, and a good tackle by Sean Mahone, who was their leading tackler last year. Not quite as productive in terms of tackles this year, but having another really good year.
Nice job. This is an interesting situation there for Neil Brown. Accepting that penalty, he's probably not going to allow them any chance to get the ball back here.
Inside a minute, second and 12. DiMercato coming around the left side. Got a good block this time from Wells to the 24. 34 seconds. And it is kind of that in-between range. Do you call a timeout, hope you can stop them, come after a punt, but they're going to let them play on.
Yeah, when it's... See what TCU does here. You're exactly right. They love this condensed formation.
It's another sweet play. This time Tate Margaret gets away from Fields. Gets a first down, but only 8 seconds left in this half. Tyke Smith the tackle. Coming up in just a moment. Rob Stone and the guys will have the State Farm halftime show. First half. Patterson saying, get over there before we pick up another one of those post-play penalties. We've seen both teams deal with a little bit of that today. It'll bring this first half to a close. They do get the snap off, hand it off to Evans. And after a half here in Morgantown, West Virginia with a 14-3 lead as they continue to play it right until the horns, pushing and some shoving. These two teams playing a big game in their seasons today, both sitting right around 500. Let's get you out to Rob Stone and the guys in Los Angeles for the State Farm halftime show. Gorgeous fall afternoon in Morgantown. 14-3. Mountaineers trying to move to 5-0 this season here in their home stadium. Joe Davis and Mark Helfrich, and we talked about it off at the top. Defense has defined their best games this season, and that defense was exceptional in the first half.
Yeah, West Virginia has been outstanding on the back end. TCU's got to figure out something route-wise. It's stacked, it's bunches, it's movements, but they got to get something going. We
got to get some tape for your headset or something. That thing keeps falling off. Thing's pesky.
No,
that's not that. Time for our second half connection. Brought to you by AT&T Business, keeping your business connected now with 5G nationwide. Their first drive of the game, a 99-yard drive and a touchdown as they snuck it in. What are you drawing up here?
Well, this is just set up by their ability to run the ball, the play action fake off of the run pass option they run so many times, the double move on Hodges Tomlinson, TJ Simmons finishing the deal for the touchdown. Daggy has been on time in rhythm, and the biggest reason for that, I think, 91 rush yards against TCU. That's a huge deal because that sets up everything else. The other stat that you're loving if you're Neil Brown is 75% third down conversions.
As West Virginia has a chance to match last year's win total. They went 5-7 in the first year under Neil Brown. They sit at 4-3 here. They've got a tough finish coming. Oklahoma and at Iowa State. TCU will try to come from behind to get its third consecutive win after the 1-3 start. And West Virginia having some fun getting the ball to begin this second half. Griffin Kell sends it away. Over the head of Winston Wright. Very efficient first half for Jared Dagey. 13 of 17. 136 yards and a touchdown. So he's within reach of a fifth consecutive 300-yard game, although that at this point not what West Virginia is most concerned about. They're just hoping to get to 5-3 however they need to.
And they have to stay aggressive. And again, how TCU is built, and you saw it towards the end of that second quarter. Gary Patterson, as soon as he gave up a couple runs, no more. So he's got to be aggressive, stay aggressive in the game plan with what they've done, and attack the edges.
Fake to Leddie Brown on the first play of the half. Michael Laughlin, his first catch in a couple weeks. Short gain, tackled by Trayvon Merrick. Are you surprised that West Virginia's not taking as many shots downfield as they have after talking to the staff? Yeah,
well, they're trying. They're trying. A lot of those corner routes that we saw in the first half, the 10 to 12-yard out routes, are built off of a vertical route on the outside. So they're trying to take those shots. As again, as you see TCU line up, there's one-on-one coverage pretty much all day long against this defense. You just have to take your shots. And like you said, there's time of possession considerations here in the second half.
work out of an empty set on second down. Nagy has had all day to throw today against a defensive line that's been very disruptive in recent weeks. Winston Wright cut down by C.J. Caesar. And a 3rd down and 2 coming here. There were 10 sacks over the last 2 games for TCU. Nagy's hardly been touched.
I've been really impressed by their protection, and D. Winters did a great job rallying there. He had the route covered there initially, and as you said, he had long enough to, he basically ran 2 option routes.
Yeah.
He was waiting on him, and he broke free.
You mentioned 3rd down being key. There was 6 for 8 on 3rd down in that first half. Bunch everybody tight into the formation. Hand it to Leddie Brown. His first carry of the second half is a big one. There goes Leddie Brown down the sideline into TCU territory. 33 yards, longest run of the day. He's got 99 total.
See the action come here. Leddie Brown in the box. Couldn't beat that tackle last time. He does this time, and as you said, a huge opening run and a huge opening 3rd down for both teams for the second half.
So the opening drive of the second half. West Virginia's got it 1st down at the 21-yard line. Here's Brown. Surges forward, stopped by Van Zandt, but he gets 8. Leddie Brown, a completely different story. Looks fully healthy after he ran for an injury-riddled 47 yards last week. He's over 100 already today.
That last play was a little change up from their scheme, and they've done a nice job here with a couple creative plays in the second half. TCU just had a wholesale substitution up front, trying to get a fresh pass rush.
Fresh guys in there to stop Brown. He's now got 8 yards per carry today. He's got it again here. Sticks the shoulder down, finds Garrett Wallow waiting for him, but he does get enough 1st down to the 10.
Great job here by Leddie Brown. They hit him on the inside zone, hit him on a power play. This is more of an outside zone, a mid-zone play. Look at the pipes coming through there, eyes up, running through Wallow, running through Terrell Cooper. Those are big-time defenders, fighting his way for a 1st down.
Just off the field.
Just inside the 10, right?
Yeah. Yep.
First and goal.
First and goal.
Go!
Seafield. Man at the line of scrimmage by Terrell Cooper. He's having a really nice year. Junior out of Lindale, Texas. Despite some injuries they've had inside, he's been one of the standouts. And 2nd and goal back at the 16.
Yeah, you said it. He's been dinged up too. Just a tough dude. It's fun to watch him and Sony Misi eat up blockers, let Wallow and Winters run around. Do a great job of being unselfish in the pass rush games too, setting up Mathis and Carly Coleman.
2nd and goal from the 16. With a straight drop. Again, well protected. He steps up with good coverage. It is a coverage sack for TCU. Mathis got there with Workman, and it's 3rd and goal at the 17.
Line game inside. Again, pretty good initial protection. We'll see what Ford Wheaton has for Caesar. Nothing. Right side of it, 4 over 3. See 4 defenders over 3 receivers. Nothing. Good reaction by Diggy. The only thing he probably could have done better is throw through the goalpost.
He lost a couple. And the penalty started a little trickle down here that has West Virginia in a tough spot. 3rd and goal back at the 17-yard line. Delay from Brown. Stopped by Coleman, and the freshman just keeps coming on.
Yeah, just smokes Brandon Yates. Brandon Yates is one of the toughest things is the draw set. Here's the matchup right here. On that draw set, you've got to bring him upfield a little bit more, draw the rush up, and let Leddie Brown work underneath. Kari Coleman says, I'm too athletic for you.
This is a win for the TCU defense.
Absolutely.
Field goal attempt would still be a 2-possession game. So for Legg, this will now be a 42-yarder. He's perfect since taking over for Staley in all 4 of his attempts. He does in his career have a 51-yarder, so this is well within his range. Opening drive of the second half for the Mountaineers. Yes, inside the upright. And the aptly named Casey Legg stays perfect in 2020. 5 for 5. West Virginia points on its first drive of the second half. Look at some of the Mountaineer alumni and fans who are serving in the armed forces. Celebrated Military Appreciation Day here in Morgantown.
Some great shots.
Some great moves.
Joe Davis got to get the dance cam up here. He was just getting after it during the break.
It ain't pretty.
It's impressive.
Well, 3 points, and it keeps it a 2-possession game. So TCU's defense bends, but ultimately limits it to a field goal. 17-3 midway through this third quarter. The theme of this game has been long drives, so TCU just now going to touch it for the first time in this half. Xavier Williams on the return. And setting up pretty good field position for the Horned Frogs. Outside the state of Texas over the last 2+ years, they're just 1-6. And one win, non-conference play, West Lafayette against Purdue last year.
That is an amazing stat. How good they've been. And defense travels, as they say.
Duggan pressured on the first play of this drive. He throws across his body and finds Tay Barber for a gain of 14. TCU's offense in the first half just 123 yards. How do you get it cranked up?
Well, that was a great throw and catch to start off, and really the first immediate pressure they've had on Duggan as they're going with tempo.
They're going to look to throw it again off play action, and heaving one. He wants Barber again. Incomplete with a coverage from a dive. When their tempo is keeping you from giving us a game plan for how to get him going.
Well, a dive was in great position there on Barber. Look at that 4-on-4, hip to hip. Great defense. And then to answer your question, they got to create some separation. That's been the story all day long. That first throw to Barber was the first time anyone has been open since Pro Wells on that first third down. That can be done a bunch of ways, whether it's stacks, bunches, motions, crossing routes, but it got to create some separation.
Johnston in motion, and they run Duggan. He's got just 9 yards rushing so far. They're going to get the corner here for a first down, and he might get more. No flag is thrown. It was borderline. Too late, out of bounds, but no flag. First down, and a run of 13.
Yeah, predetermined run all the way for Duggan. He does a nice job getting everything he can get and then trying to draw the penalty there. That was close by a dive, but he certainly pulls up.
Savvy little move, right?
Absolutely.
That side step out of bounds.
Slow down. Yep. Quentin Johnston did a nice job there on the perimeter blocking as well.
By far the longest run of the day for Duggan. Hands it off to Kendre Miller. Good movement from the offensive line this time. That depleted offensive line. And Miller keeps it rolling. He's got a first down.
Yeah, that was separation by alignment there by West Virginia. A couple open gaps there on the backside. TCU does a good job of exploiting it here. Again, they're trying to go fast.
Again, with an offensive line down 3 starters. They lost Austin Myers this week. They've been their most consistent guy. His second catch of the year and a gain of 7.
Great rhythm. Again, just a nice little rhythm throw against zone coverage. Little stick route, day 1 install for all offenses in football.
Kendre Miller, big hole again. First down. Kendre Miller still going to the 6. And the Horned Frogs have it first and goal. The most rhythm this offense has had all day.
And it's coming off the run game, the inside zone run game. Does see a nice job of those guys getting to the second level on the linebacker. Carter Ware looking for somebody to block.
Right back on the ball. Handed off to Miller again. This time he's shut down by Dante Stills.
Closest guy to the ball says, hey, I've seen enough here. Let's set these guys back a little bit. Right over the center. Little separation, throw and go, and a great job getting Kendre Miller on the ground.
Coming into the year, that is the group that everybody knew was going to be good from West Virginia, bringing back all 3 starters on the D-line. Stills with a stop there, so second and goal for TCU.
Unbalanced formation, all the receivers eligible up top.
And they add one with Miller motion in there. He takes it in the swing and stumbles, losing 4.
TCU likes to do this. Both of these teams like to do this. Motion out and create a quarterback draw or throw situation. They have numbers. He sees grass and he is down. Tackled by the 14-yard line.
That'll get you. Similar story for both these teams on opening drive of the second half. Move it inside the 10, and then they go backwards.
Showing a 3-deep zone. You see that single safety in the middle of the field.
5 to choose from for Duggan, and blown coverage and a blown throw. Tay Barber was cut loose, but then Duggan throws it way out of the end zone.
Yeah, the corner, Sean Miller. Watch him. Eyes, trigger. He's supposed to be the thirds defender. That means you're deep 1/3 back there. And Duggan, that's one of those, you can't explain it. The uncovered guy strikes again.
TCU has to settle for a field goal attempt from Griffin Kell. Their only point so far today, adds 3 here, 17-6. Duggan and the Horned Frogs midway through this third quarter. Duggan knows that was a missed opportunity. Another long drive, but ends in a field goal. Remains a 2-possession game.
And that's the key. If you're TCU, you didn't give up one, a long foul ball, right? A long foul ball, but it's still a 2-score game.
West Virginia ready to get it back. The dangerous Winston Wright, who took one back last year. Winston Wright lost his footing a little bit and is down at the 36.
Impressive day so far for Diggy.
Start this drive on the ground. Sinfield to the outside. It crashes into Nook Bradford. To bring this third quarter to a close with West Virginia in front 17-6. A chance today to match last year's win total. And a chance to move to 5-0 in Morgantown. We've got the fourth quarter coming up. So as we move on to the fourth quarter in Morgantown, a 17-6 lead for West Virginia. They've got the ball 2nd and 5 at their own 25. Something we've seen all day. A lot of pre-snap movement, trying to make things tough on Gary Patterson, who tries to send those calls in at the last moment. On the out, it's Winston Wright, first down West Virginia, with a tackle from LaKendrick Van Zandt.
That's been the theme of the day from West Virginia. A vertical route on the outside, and then Wright Jr. on a flat route of 5-yard-ish depth, a 10-yard out, or a corner route, and they've worn it out.
Well, it's starting to get to that point where you feel like TCU's desperate for a takeaway.
Yeah, something has to happen here. Offensively, they're just not clicking today for whatever reason. You got to give West Virginia's defense a ton of credit, but it's got to be a takeaway, a special teams play, something explosive.
5 turnovers, 2 teams combined last year. None in this game as Kari Coleman stops Leddie Brown at the line of scrimmage.
Really impressive to see C.J. Caesar in the mix there. Coming off the edge, they're adding him to the fit of this run game. Kari Coleman running loose in there, but that play was made by C.J. Caesar coming off the edge. Takes some courage for that guy 165 to join the fray.
Especially with those little kid shoulder pads. Really the smallest shoulder pads I've ever seen.
Sears catalog.
Yeah, right. Little tights. Daggy again has all need to throw. That is tossed at the last moment. Is that going to be intentional grounding there? They had Winston Wright in the general vicinity, but you could make an argument the other way.
I thought they would give that with Winston Wright. The post comes open late, but everything underneath covered. See on the backside, see my man Caesar.
Intentional grounding, offense. Number 2 was in the pocket, threw the ball into an area with no eligible receiver. Penalty is loss of down at the spot of the pass.
And Mathis. They do call the intentional grounding on Daggy and moves it way back. It is a loss of down as well. 3rd and see about 20.
Yeah, the spot of the throw.
Officially going to call it 3rd and 21. It's Brown. And the punt team will come out.
Trying to punch against that front and get a field position switch.
Boy, these guys, they're not liking each other too much, are they? saw Mathis and Moore both getting after each other at the end of the play. And the officials doing a good job of keeping things under control.
They did, yeah. High intensity situation, and Mathis trying to get to the QB, create that explosive play we were just talking about, get him off the field. Maybe it's right here they could create another block punt, but he's got to be smart with it.
Merrick back to return. It's a line drive. Merrick fires it, and West Virginia's on it. Now they put him back there with no Davis and no Spielman because he's the most trustworthy option they've got. Just catch it. It bounces off him, and the first turnover of the day comes on special teams, recovered by Sean Mahal.
Absolute stud on their defense, and you said it. They got an all-conference from the Big Ten return. J.D. Spielman, Darius Davis comes in and does an unbelievable job. All he needs to do is catch this, give his team a chance. And instead, it flips the field and puts West Virginia in business, moves that clock, and try to create a 3-score situation for West Virginia.
At the TCU 42-yard line.
That's tough. You know, he is in a little bit of a spot where that ball goes kind of sun to shade back into, or sun into the shade. May have played a part.
Center here, they hand it off to Sam James. Lowers the shoulder, gets 4, stopped by Nook Bradford.
Sam James, we talked about how much we like this guy's athleticism. Very experienced guy, and that's one way to force feed him the ball. Keep the clock running. Grind out some yardage.
If you're West Virginia here, you got to get a touchdown, right? I mean, a field goal, it's still a 2-possession game.
Exactly, yep. 100%.
Set up at the 42-yard line. Best starting field position of the day for Daggy and the Mountaineers.
You would take any points, you know, the way your defense is playing right now. You would love that 2-touchdown lead. That's looking good, but you'd love to put it out of reach.
On 2nd and 6, Daggy steps over. Locks in for the 10-yard line. He's got Simmons, touchdown, 2nd of the day. And there's that touchdown they're looking for. 48 yards, and Simmons, who came into the day without a touchdown this year, has 2 of them against TCU.
Love it. Just the back shoulder slot fade. Everybody runs this play too. The inside receiver running a vertical route, and it's going to become a one-on-one matchup at the top of this. And there it is. There's the fade from the slot. And the biggest part of this was the early air by Daggy. He was getting hit as he threw. Protection broke down. Great spot. Simmons high points it. Strong hands to finish it.
Teaching tape on that spiral, turn it over, coming down to him, huh?
No doubt.
West Virginia's opened it up, taking advantage of the special teams turnover, 24-6. TJ Simmons with a 2-touchdown afternoon.
Let's go, Mountaineers, let's go! Let's go, Mountaineers, let's go!
On the verge of moving to 5-3 on the year. That would match last year's win total, and it would be a really important win when you consider what's to come. Not that there are no wins to be had there. Are they toasting? Toast to the kickoff here? All right, cheers.
Here's to you, Mr. Leg.
They've got Oklahoma coming here after a bye week at Iowa State. Couple teams still in the conference title hunt. So you got Williams to bring this back. Williams galloping his way across the 25. Final minutes of this one. All West Virginia, 24-6. Just over 200 yards of offense for the Horned Frogs today. Andrew Miller on first down. With a gain of 5 or 6. And TCU has not won a game this season where they've not been dominant running the ball. These are the last 2 weeks. 247 against Baylor, 270 against Texas Tech, 108 today. I mean, 108's not bad, but when you have no passing game, that's not enough.
Yeah, they just haven't created any separation in the secondary. 2 routes really where guys were clean, guys were open, and the near touchdown.
Low fought through the block to drop it. And so they got 108 rushing. They have 101 passing.
Yeah, this is the worst thing you want for this kind of makeshift offensive line right now, is to get into a drop back contest, and you see the draw play, the perimeter quick throw to your tight end. They're just, it's hard to block these guys with a full slate of guys, let alone guys that are battling.
I mean, even coming out of halftime at 14-3, that for this offense right now is a tall mountain to climb. They're not built to come from behind. Sprinkling the turnover and pretty much spelled doom for TCU. Duggan in trouble, able to keep it alive, and broken coverage. Amari DiMercado behind the defense. A big play inside the 25. So the running back DiMercado tracked down by X3 Low eventually after a 42-yard gain.
Yeah, just great reaction here by Duggan. As you said, it kind of got engulfed there initially, stepped up, eyes downfield, and X3 Low comes out of coverage.
Duggan finds DiMercado again, runs away from Low, and gets crunched by Fields, who's got 107 tackles today alone. I'm going to double check
that's a
that,
record.
but I
think that's a record.
That's
conference
right.
And national.
Yeesh.
Duggan took another shot on that, took it low. I think it was blocked into it. It wasn't a penalty situation.
Inside 5 minutes now, 2nd and 6. Mercado again. Messidor gets him from behind, but he gets a first down. 1st and goal for the Horned Frogs.
Great pursuit by Messidor to get him on the ground. He was the only thing left between him and the end zone.
Throw the ball up to the line of scrimmage. It wasn't a first down. Yeah. Spotted him short, so sneaking it. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. 1st and goal from the 10 and a quarterback sneak.
Very nice. Yeah. Now go, TCU, go with some tempo here. 4:15, 3-score game.
It is now 1st and goal.
Yep, it's that fine line between getting your best play and playing with tempo, knowing you got some downs here.
The run over DiMercado. And DiMercado gets tripped up. Guess who did it? Tony Fields.
Is that what it is now? 108?
Yes.
Tony Fields from Vegas by way of the University of Arizona. That's what they count on him to do, is run sideline to sideline and make those ankle breaker plays in space. That is so hard. Just imagine you've got the most athletic guy on a lot of teams, the tailback, in space against your linebacker.
Gets intercepted by Tyke Smith. If he can get by Duggan, it could be a house call. He does, but Duggan slows him enough to let everybody else rally. And that should wrap things up. 2nd pick of the season for Tyke Smith. And it returns it all the way to the 45-yard line. What a day for this West Virginia defense.
Great defense. This is an RPO type of situation. And what they do is they punch out Tyke Smith right underneath the slant route behind him, and he does the rest. Great scheme and really hard execution by Tyke Smith. You're catching a fastball, finding the face down the goal line, and makes the most of it, taking it back.
That is the 10th interception of the season for West Virginia. Top 10 in the country. And top 10 in the country is something you can say about a lot of phases of this defense. Which a year ago is near the bottom of the Big 12 in a lot of categories. You know, coming into the year, Neil Brown said, we want to be the most improved team in the country. Statistically, you can make an argument that they are.
No doubt. I thought that was such a great realization by him. We had their opener, and that's where that comment came up. And that was just a big picture statement. He came out of the first game and suspended half the team, basically, either 8 or 9 guys that were suspended. Makes that statement of, hey, I'm building this, right? I built it at Troy. I've seen some of these other rebuilds and build jobs. We're going to do it the right way, and that's a bold, big picture statement. You have to have a lot of foresight to make that statement.
Sinkfield gets a few. 3rd down coming up. We take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Sponsored by Pacific Life, more than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow. Really, it's been West Virginia the whole way. They had a 99-yard touchdown drive to open their offensive day. Another big day for Leddie Brown. 158 yards on the ground for him. How about TJ Simmons? His first 2 touchdown catches of the year. And another efficient day for Daggy. 19 of 26. 212 yards, couple touchdowns, and for the 4th consecutive game, no interceptions. This one coming against a defense that picked him off 3 times last year. Sinkfield again on 3rd down. Not much there. D. Winters the tackle. Inside 2 minutes and 4th down. Joe Davis and Mark Halford here in Morgantown, where West Virginia is about to move to 5-0 this year. And he's got it at the 11-yard line. Well, once again, this West Virginia defense, a big part of the story. 9th time in the last 10 games they've held the opposition below 200 yards passing. Overall today, only 275 yards for TCU.
Yeah, TCU just too little too late. Got it going on the ground in the second half. Missed opportunities. We talked about the play there by Tyke Smith. Game changer there as far as ending it for West Virginia, but overall just a dominant performance by West Virginia today. Really in all phases, they've just been really, really efficient and sound.
Handed off to Evans. Skates his way for a 1st down. You know, overall numbers on the left-hand column this season. On the right, the numbers today. So how about this, Coach? Their best season average in terms of yards per game allowed since they joined the Big 12 in 2012 is 397. They're at 271.
That's just amazing. You know, in this conference, in the quote-unquote modern football, unbelievably impressive. They do it the old school way.
Kendra Miller. Next couple of men miss. Pulled down at the 30. Although things have shifted a little bit. This is the lowest yards per game for any conference, any Power 5 conference, the Big 12. So
Big 12's
the reputation a little bit.
Okie State playing some defense. Iowa State. And that'll be interesting for this team too going forward. You got a week off, and then you got OU and Iowa State to finish it out. So this was a huge one for Neil Brown, and they got it done.
To match the 2019 win total, matching the total of Brown's first season, similar to what he did at Troy, winning 4 games his first year. Then 10-3, 11-2, 10-3. Won't have that many opportunities this year, but a similar trajectory for Neil Brown and West Virginia. 24-6, the final score, as West Virginia moves to 5-3, and TCU's little winning streak comes to an end at 2. They fall to 3-4. Coming up at the bottom of the hour on Fox, college football action continues. It's USC and Arizona. Studios got you on the other side of these messages.